Welcome to Community Chats, bringing you stories and insights from the heart of Community Living Toronto, a nonprofit organization that proudly supports people with intellectual disabilities and their families. We will focus on stories of belonging and inclusion and topics of interest from communities across Ontario and the world. From uplifting moments to breaking barriers, from innovative policies to ideas from leading thinkers, we continue to advocate for inclusive communities and support the rights and choices of people with an intellectual disability.
Hello, I'm Brad Saunders, the CEO at Community Living Toronto, and welcome to Community Chats, where we meet people from our community, discuss ideas, and learn from each other. This is one of the ways we stay in touch with our community, and I'm glad you're joining us. I work with a dedicated group of 1,200 people supporting people across the city. CLTO is a dynamic and progressive organization that aims to add value to our communities and neighborhoods. Advocacy and influence are important for people and organizations who want to see change in their world. At CLTO, we have tried to have influence in several ways, and today we are diving into one of our approaches. Several years ago, CLTO established the Influencers, people with lived experience who want to see change in their world. They are committed to making the city and province better for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, as well as advocating for ideas and activities they are passionate about. Today we're chatting with Josh and Lorraine, two of CLTO's inaugural influencers. They are going to share stories and passions with us today. And now I bring you Lorraine and Josh. So let's get started. Now I'm going to start, Josh, with you. Got a question for you. Maybe tell us a little bit about, and I'll ask you both the same question here. Tell us a little bit about yourself and then how you got connected with community living. Josh, do you want to go first?
Okay, well, I got connected to community living through another organization known as the Geneva Center about 15 years ago.
Great. And tell me a little bit about yourself. What are you interested in? What do you do for hobbies? Anything that...
I play baseball in the Special Olympics, and I'm
amazing
for this right here.
Origami. I've actually got one of your pieces. I don't know if you can see it on my desk here. Nice. What position do you play in baseball?
I'm a shortstop.
Really? You must have quick reflexes. Josh, I think we might have to keep chatting. We might have to keep chatting a bit longer. I think we lost Lorraine there for a minute. Lorraine's on her way back.
He made these ones for me.
Oh, great. Nice. Nice.
The flower and its cat.
Nice.
Yeah.
Lorraine, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. What's I gonna say? Oh yeah, I also do a bingo on Saturdays.
What's that behind you, Lorraine?
Mm-hmm.
Beside you on the wall. What's that beside you on the wall?
This one?
Yeah.
I did a painting of a flower.
So would you consider yourself an artist?
Yeah. Yes, I am an artist.
Right. Tell us about your art.
I did this one.
Okay. Very nice.
Yeah.
How often do you paint?
Almost every day.
Okay.
I got so many. Inspired me. We went to the art gallery with our art class, and that came up with this idea.
Great.
Yeah.
And I know you both have that family is very important to both of you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I have my sister next door. She lives in the next building.
Great.
We're really close. She's had a surgery on her leg.
Okay. How did you get connected with Community Living Toronto, Lorraine?
Kind of through my mother. My mother used to do a lot with the board.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're both interesting people with a long history with community living. We're glad that
I'm
you're
a little
connected.
older.
That we know you. So I wanted to ask you next about, so you've both been really strong volunteers and
Yeah.
involved as Community Living Toronto or CLTO influencers for the past number of
Yeah.
years. Can you speak about your experiences working to create positive change? And Josh, maybe I'll start with you. What's been your experience working on the influencers to create positive change?
It's been a wild ride. Me
Yeah.
personally, I'm trying to raise awareness for autism because that's what I'm diagnosed with.
What are you doing to help create awareness for autism?
I make posts with the influencer team, Carmen, and we have a lot of meetings to plan presentations.
Oh, yeah.
We actually have one tomorrow, I believe.
That's right. Yeah,
What do
we're
you-
going to the school across the way. Yeah.
What's
Should
the
be in.
tomorrow? It's you're at a school tomorrow?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
just
going to
across from 20 Spadina, across the street.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Excellent. So, Lorraine, you're also one of the influencers, and you've been at this a couple of years now. What's your experience been like? What do you want to share with us?
Great things, and it's helped me in my life. Like Tracy's been a great person. She's really a great help.
Yeah. How has it helped you in your life? What's stood out?
It's make me smile more, happiness, and it makes a difference. And people down at 20 Spadina think I'm amazing.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Now, you were also generous enough to share your story with us as one of our 75th anniversary storytellers. And you talked
Yeah.
about your love for painting and your father being an inspiration. I guess he was an artist as well. You talk about
Yeah.
that. How has your journey with art been for you? What is it? Why are you so passionate about your art?
It just shows that people like me who have a disability um, can live a normal life painting, and the memories of my father just makes me happy. And
Great.
it does make me sad a little bit, but you know what? I'm sure my dad's saying, "You'll do fine. Whatever you do, you'll do fine."
Oh, that's great. Is there a memory about your dad you want to share with us?
Uh, yeah. I can-
Coming to you next, Josh.
The picture of my father and my dad's friend, you can see they were happy.
Oh yeah, what a smile.
Yeah. And I get my dad's smile.
Oh, nice. So
Yeah.
he was an artist as well.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a great guy.
So you take a lot of inspiration from that. Is that what I heard you say?
Yeah. I wake up in the morning and I see that picture and it just, makes me happy.
Oh, great. That's
Yeah.
excellent. Now, Josh, you also shared a story with our 75th stuff, and you talked about your experience with the Youth to Work program. Do you want to talk about that a bit more? What that journey's been like for you?
Back up.
It's been a lot of fun. It was a long time ago, so I'm not sure if I can remember everything.
You'll do great. Whatever you how did you get involved with Youth to Work?
I just signed up for it.
Were you in high school, or had you finished high school, or whereabouts in
I believe I was in college.
okay. And how did you hear about the Youth to Work program?
Again, the Geneva Center told me about it.
Great. And then you made a phone call? I guess this was back in the day when there were more phone calls made than the emails and
My
stuff.
parents did. Yeah.
And so you went into Youth to Work, and the purpose of Youth to Work is to help people find jobs. Is that fair?
Yeah, of course.
And
Awesome.
what happened with you?
I became a mail carrier as well as a beverage seller in our previously open coffee den. Rest in peace.
The coffee den is in the process of being renovated. I guess the coffee den shut down during COVID. But you enjoyed that work quite a bit. I remember seeing you there. You served a very good cup of coffee. Yeah. You're also a bit of an artist, and you practice origami. And I made a mistake once of asking you how hard it was, and you described it as not being that hard for you. I could never do something like that, but why do you think you find it so easy?
Lots of practice
Lots of practice
and lessons. My older brother taught me when I was young.
Fantastic. Now, how do you get inspiration for what you're gonna? I think you left this for me. This to me looks like a bat. I think I'm right. And I've also got a heart in a frame. Yeah. How do you come up with your ideas?
From books or on YouTube.
Very good. So you follow a bunch of YouTubers that also do origami, is that?
Not in particular, but yeah.
Okay, excellent. That's good. You're both very artistic. So our theme, as you both know, this Community Living Toronto has been around for 75 years, since 1948. And the theme that we chose this year, because it most represents sort of a big passion of what we do and a lot of our focus, is belonging. And I want to ask you both, and Lorraine, I'll start with you. What does belonging mean to you? When do you feel like you belong the most? Do you want to talk about that for us? And you're on mute if you want, Lorraine, do you want to unmute yourself?
There we go. Yeah. Belonging means that I feel like I belong, like everybody is like family at community living. And I feel I belong there. Yeah.
That's excellent.
And I like thanking you guys.
Excellent. Thank you. Josh, what does belonging mean for you? When do you feel like you belong the most, or where do you feel like you belong the most? What's that experience like for you?
Belonging to me means being respected and not judged for who you are or your abilities.
I agree with that.
That's fantastic. I can see why you guys were ambassadors for us. You both know what you're talking about in terms of in terms of what's important to you. Fantastic. So 75 years, not many of us were around 75 years ago, and it's unlikely that most of us will be around in another 75 years when Community Living celebrates our next milestone. We don't want to think about that, but so
one day as it comes.
Say that again?
We'll take one day as it comes.
That's a great philosophy of life. I agree. So you're part of the influencers. What you want to do is create a better world, and that the world is better tomorrow than it was today. And I think sometimes as we read the news, and see what's going on around the world, it can be a little discouraging.
It's bad in Israel right now, and I have family there.
Yeah. No, it's terrible. Israel and
Yeah.
in Gaza and in the
Just
Ukraine.
we
And
went to our
sorry?
fifth Hanukkah party. I mean,
Yeah.
it's 5 days yesterday.
Yeah.
And our club's gradually going back. But we had the Hanukkah party yesterday, but we don't know if we're going back in hopefully in January or February.
Excellent. So I
But
want to
the
ask you both. I want to ask you both, and maybe Josh, I'll start with you. Can you tell us what a better world would look like to you? And maybe from the eyes of, as you were a young guy, young boy growing up or going into school and then high school and then becoming a young man, what would a better life have looked like? What would you want for somebody in your situation in the future? What would have been better? What would have made your life what would have made your life better?
No bullying. I got bullied a lot back in high school.
Me too.
That's terrible. How did you deal with the bullying at the time, Josh?
I reported them to the authorities.
That's good. Were people helpful with that?
Yeah.
That's good. So a better future, you would like to see no more bullying. And what do you think would is there anything else that you'd like to include that, or why do you think people would stop bullying? Do you think it's better now than it was, or has it gotten worse, or do you have any thoughts on that?
It's more or less the same.
Oh, that's too bad. So less bullying in the future. That's a great goal. Lorraine, what would a better world look like to you?
I've seen a lot of teenagers bullying the other students, and I think it's terrible.
Yeah.
I see that on the bus.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. And it upsets me to see that.
It is upsetting.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, I think for me, just as we wrap up, one of the things that would make the world a better place for me is if we have more people like the both of you advocate for what's important to you, being willing to share your stories. It's not easy to come in front of, there's 75 people here or so, and tell your experiences and share what you're going through and share what you're thinking and sharing your art. So thank you for doing that. And thank you for being part of our first group of influencers that are trying to make the world a better place. Both because you want to talk about things related to disability, but also because you want to talk about a whole bunch of other abilities that you've got and things that are interesting. And both of those things are so important. So I'm going to give you each the last word before we sign off. But yeah, sorry, Lorraine, go ahead. What's your final thought for it?
I used to work for Dr. Schmidt.
Okay.
Many years. And they were great people to work for. Dr. Schmidt and Dr. Mackay.
That's
unfortunately passed away.
That's too bad. It's great though when you have a good boss, right? And you have somebody where you work and you can contribute. That's excellent. Josh is nodding at that too. Yeah. Josh, what would your last words of wisdom be before we sign off?
Thanks for having us.
Perfect. Well, thank you both for sharing with us and for taking the time. You both did great. I know we were a bit nervous about doing this when we connected last week, but it all worked out. Thanks again for today, and also for your work with what you do with Community Living Toronto, but also the influence that you have in your communities more generally. Josh and Lorraine are committed to making the world a better place. They both talked about being bullied and how much of an impact that had on them all these years later. They have each used their passion and skill in art to make the world a more beautiful place. If you'd like to purchase art from either of them, you can reach out through CLTO's website, cltoronto.ca, under the Contact Us tab. Sharing stories and making yourself vulnerable can be difficult, and it's people like Josh and Lorraine who, by sharing their stories, help others understand and create communities where everyone belongs and where everyone is valued. To that end, I'd like to highlight something that Lorraine's father always told her: "You'll do fine." I think these are words of wisdom that we can each use every day. I'm Brad Saunders, and this has been Community Chats. Thank you, and see you next time.
Don't forget to join us next time as we unpack the power of community through collaborative initiatives and shared experiences. Available on Buzzsprout, Spotify, Audible, and YouTube. Follow us on social media at CL Toronto. Let's chat, share, and spread those good vibes together. We hope these discussions will inspire you and give new ideas to add your voice to our mission of making our communities and neighborhoods inclusive and welcoming.